You will see yourself differently after watching this video, because it will reveal the truth about narcissistic women that most men never notice. This is the secret to understanding why they are so attracted to certain men, and why so many men get trapped without realizing it. It's about opposites, about the balance of strength, independence, and emotional control that drives attraction at the deepest level. Narcissistic women are constantly testing, pushing boundaries, and creating situations to see if you will break. Every withdrawal, every subtle provocation, every mention of another man is a checkpoint to measure your strength. Most men fail instantly. They are always looking for a man who can stand firm, maintain his boundaries, and stay calm under pressure. That stability is what draws them in, more than charm, attention, or trying to please ever could. Once you start seeing these patterns clearly, everything changes. You stop being a target and start being someone they genuinely notice. And that is when true power comes into play. Understanding the psychology of a narcissistic woman. Narcissistic women don't think about relationships the way most people do. For them, it isn't about love, connection, or teamwork. They are focused on control, attention, and feeling important. Every action they take usually has a purpose, even if it doesn't seem obvious at first. Understanding this is the first step, because once you see the pattern, you stop taking their behavior personally and start protecting yourself. These women often have an unstable sense of who they are. They rely on other people's reactions to feel good about themselves. If you give them attention or react emotionally, it makes them feel strong. If you stay calm or independent, they notice it too. That's why they test men constantly. It's not about you. It's about their need to feel secure in themselves. They also measure everything based on how it reflects on them. Your successes, your confidence, your reactions. They use these to see how it makes them look. This doesn't mean they can't admire you. It just means their admiration is mixed with self-interest. They often want to control the situation so that they always feel like they are winning or being important in some way. Another thing to understand is they try to control their surroundings. Their actions can make you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Decisions, plans, even small conversations can be influenced by them. This isn't about cooperation. It's about seeing if they can steer situations to their advantage. If you don't notice this early, you can get pulled into patterns that are exhausting and confusing. Fear of losing power or being abandoned is a big driver for them. When they feel threatened, they might suddenly pull away, act cold, or create drama. It's a test to see how much control they really have over you. The way you react tells them whether you can be manipulated or if you will stand firm. Recognizing this helps you stay grounded instead of reacting out of panic or frustration. Why they test you. Narcissistic women often set up situations that seem confusing or frustrating. These moments are not accidents. They are deliberate tests to see how you react. Every pause in conversation, every sudden change in mood, and every push against your boundaries is a way to measure your strength. Understanding this helps you see the patterns instead of feeling like you're constantly failing. One reason for these tests is to see if you can be easily manipulated. They watch closely to see if you panic when things change, or if you apologize, even when you haven't done anything wrong. Giving in to pressure or changing your behavior to suit them shows them they can control you. They use this to see who holds the emotional power. Another reason is to check if you are emotionally dependent. They want to know if your self-worth relies on their attention or approval. If you constantly seek validation from them, they know they can influence your feelings. If you remain confident and independent, it signals that you can't be easily used, which makes you more noticeable to them. They also want to see who controls the situation. Every test, pulling away, creating jealousy, or teasing, is a way to measure your response. Are you reactive? Do you overthink? Or can you stay calm, observe, and respond deliberately? How you handle these small challenges tells them whether they can manipulate the relationship. These tests are continuous, and they can be subtle. Sometimes it's a short silence, a casual mention of someone else, or a minor argument. Other times, it can be more obvious, like ignoring your calls or creating tension. Each test is a way for them to understand whether you will give them power or maintain your own. Common tests she will use. Narcissistic women often create situations to see how you respond under pressure. One of the most common ways is the silent treatment or withdrawal. She may suddenly stop replying to messages or act distant without explanation. This isn't random. It's a way to check if you will overreact, panic, or beg for attention. How you respond shows her whether you are easily manipulated or able to stay steady. Another test is bringing up other men. This is not casual conversation. It's meant to trigger jealousy or insecurity. She wants to see if you get defensive, upset, or overly competitive. A man who reacts calmly without giving her power shows confidence. How you handle this tells her whether you are emotionally stable or dependent on her validation. Criticism and provocation is another common test. She might tease, make subtle insults, or challenge your choices. The goal is to see if she can get under your skin. Reacting angrily or defensively gives her control. Staying calm, acknowledging your own standards, and not letting her words dictate your feelings demonstrates strength and sets clear boundaries. Creating drama or conflict is another strategy she may use. She might argue over small things, exaggerate minor issues, or push you into emotional situations. The purpose is to draw you into her world and see if you react emotionally. Men who remain composed and don't escalate the situation show that they cannot be controlled. This also forces her to respect your limits. Some of these tests are subtle and others are obvious, but they all serve the same purpose: measuring your reactions. She is constantly evaluating whether you are emotionally available to her, easily influenced, or able to maintain independence. Recognizing this pattern helps you stay in control of your own behavior and prevents unnecessary stress. How weak men react. Many men respond in ways that actually make things worse without realizing it. One common reaction is over-explaining or defending themselves. They try to justify every action, explain why they didn't do something wrong, or give reasons for their choices. This doesn't make the situation better. It gives her more information to manipulate or push further, and it signals that her reactions control your behavior. Another typical reaction is apologizing when it isn't necessary. Even when the man hasn't done anything wrong, he might say sorry just to calm things down or to make her feel better. This shows her that she has power over your emotions. Apologizing too quickly or too often reinforces the idea that your feelings depend on her approval. Many men also fall into chasing attention. When she withdraws or ignores them, they respond by sending multiple messages, calling repeatedly, or trying to engage at all costs. This kind of chasing gives her exactly what she wants: proof that she can manipulate your focus, energy, and emotions. It reinforces her control instead of building respect. A final weak response is trying to fix or please her constantly. Some men believe that if they solve her problems or meet her emotional needs, she will treat them better or respect them more. In reality, this often leads to exhaustion and resentment. She doesn't gain respect. She gains confirmation that you are available and reactive to her demands. Reacting in these ways makes you predictable and easily influenced. The more a man responds like this, the more the narcissistic woman sees him as someone she can control. This creates a cycle where she tests more, pushes boundaries further, and keeps taking emotional energy without giving anything in return. How strong men react. Strong men act completely differently, and that difference is what makes them attractive to narcissistic women. One key behavior is staying calm and composed. They don't overreact to provocations or tests, no matter how tempting it is to defend themselves. They keep their voice steady, their actions deliberate, and their responses measured. This shows that they are not easily influenced or controlled. Another defining trait is holding firm boundaries. They know what is acceptable and what is not, and they do not compromise their standards just to make her happy or avoid conflict. This isn't stubbornness. It's a clear sign that their life, time, and emotions are theirs to manage, not hers. Respect naturally follows when a man enforces his limits consistently. Strong men also avoid unnecessary arguments. If she tries to start conflict, tease, or provoke, they don't escalate or engage just to prove a point. They understand that emotional chaos is her tool to test control, and responding to it only gives her power. Remaining calm and composed during arguments communicates strength more effectively than any confrontation could. Finally, strong men are willing to walk away if necessary. They are not dependent on her attention or approval. This doesn't mean ending the relationship at every minor issue. It means showing that their sense of self and emotional stability cannot be threatened. This independence is magnetic because it signals that they cannot be owned, controlled, or drained. The real meaning behind her tests. Every time a narcissistic woman pushes your buttons, it's not really about you personally. These challenges are designed to see how much control she can have and how you respond to pressure. She wants to know if you will react emotionally, if she can influence your decisions, and whether she can keep you dependent on her attention. Understanding this is crucial because it stops you from taking her behavior personally. Failing her tests has consequences. If you react emotionally, over-explain, or chase her approval, you become a source of her emotional energy. That means she gets to influence your mood, your decisions, and even your sense of self-worth, all while you give up your own stability. Recognizing this pattern helps you understand why certain behaviors feel draining and why you might feel constantly tested or exhausted. Passing her tests works differently. When you remain calm, enforce your boundaries, and refuse to react to manipulation, you become someone she cannot control. That makes you stand out in a very specific way. She notices that you are not dependent on her approval, and that independence naturally draws her attention and respect. Strength, not compliance, becomes the most attractive quality. Tests are not random. They are checkpoints. Every subtle withdrawal, every mention of someone else, every challenge is meant to gauge your reactions. Once you understand that, you can predict how she will behave and respond intentionally. Instead of being caught off guard, you can stay in control, protect your energy, and avoid unnecessary emotional damage. Awareness is your first tool. The ultimate goal is not to win her approval. It's about maintaining your own stability and boundaries. When you hold your ground consistently, she may still test you, but her influence over your emotions diminishes. This creates a situation where you remain in control, and the relationship dynamic shifts in your favor, whether it continues or not. Authenticity cannot be faked. Narcissistic women are very skilled at spotting weaknesses, inconsistencies, and pretenses. Trying to fake confidence, independence, or emotional control often backfires. She will notice immediately if you are pretending and may intensify her tests to see where the cracks are. Any behavior that is not genuine gives her more information and more ways to manipulate the situation. Fake displays of strength rarely work. Acting confident while feeling unsure inside signals inconsistency. She may test harder or escalate drama to see if you truly hold yourself steady. Pretending to be unaffected or detached will only work against you if it's believable. If it's not, she will exploit the gaps and force reactions from you that you didn't intend to give. Emotional inconsistency is another trap. Any sign of insecurity, doubt, or overreaction is immediately noticed. If you try to act strong, but show frustration or desperation at the same time, she will see that as leverage. The more genuine you are with your behavior, the less ammunition she has to manipulate you. Authenticity acts as protection. The only reliable way to navigate interactions with a narcissistic woman is through real self-discipline and authenticity. This means being consistent with your boundaries, staying calm under pressure, and taking responsibility for your emotions. When you are disciplined and authentic, tests lose their power, and she can't control you, no matter how much she tries. Being authentic does not mean letting her walk over you. It means showing who you are consistently while maintaining your standards. It also means recognizing your triggers, staying in control of your reactions, and being deliberate with your actions. This combination makes you unshakable in ways that cannot be faked or manipulated. Stand strong and protect yourself. Narcissistic women are drawn to men who cannot be easily controlled, but that doesn't mean the relationship is safe or healthy. The attraction comes from your independence, discipline, and emotional stability, qualities that cannot be manipulated. The more consistent you are, the less power she has to influence you, and the more respect you gain, both from her and from yourself. The real victory is never letting anyone diminish your worth or control your life. By staying aware, enforcing boundaries, and prioritizing your goals and values, you reclaim power and confidence. You do not need to fight or argue to prove yourself. Maintaining your discipline and self-respect does the work for you naturally, and it prevents emotional drain and toxic patterns. Confidence, independence, and consistency are your strongest tools. You can engage with the world and with people without losing yourself. Being aware of narcissistic patterns allows you to navigate relationships intentionally, respond deliberately, and choose where to invest your energy. The more you practice discipline and maintain your boundaries, the stronger and freer you become. Remember, you have the ability to control how others influence you. Stand firm, maintain your priorities, and refuse to compromise your values for anyone's approval. That combination of clarity, consistency, and self-respect is magnetic and unshakable. These qualities protect you and help you thrive while interacting with people who test or manipulate. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement. If you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all